My beloved child, don't skip. Tonight I'm taking you inside a crime so strange that even the police still talk about it in low voices. A crime that didn't start with a scream, but with silence. And if you stay till the end, something huge will hit you, something you'll never forget. It began with a single phone call. Just one whisper, "Please, come fast." No name, no shouting, nothing. Officer Daniel, who answered it, felt something unusual. He didn't know why, but he felt like the caller wasn't asking for help, they were saying goodbye. Don't skip. The real shock starts now. Daniel drove through a foggy old neighborhood where even the streetlights looked scared. Every house was quiet, but the third one from the corner had its door slightly open. Not broken, not pushed, just open. Waiting. Inside, there was no chaos. No fight. No blood. No sign of struggle. Only one thing in the middle of the floor, a diary. Placed too perfectly to be an accident. Daniel picked it up. Someone had wiped a single line across the dusty cover to write, "Don't skip the truth." That sentence alone made his heartbeat jump. He opened the diary. First page, "They're watching me." No name. No date. Nothing else. Something huge is waiting for you. Stay till the end. As he read more pages, one thing stood out. Every entry began with, "My beloved child." It felt like the writer was talking to someone precious, someone they were trying to protect. But protect from what? Then Daniel reached the page that changed everything. A sketch. A rough pencil drawing of a shadow standing in a doorway, wearing a police uniform. Daniel's grip tightened. Why would someone be terrified of a cop? He didn't get time to think. He heard breathing behind the curtain. Not the wind. Not a noise. Real, terrified breathing. Daniel didn't reach for his gun. Something in the air felt too fragile. "Hey," he said quietly, "I'm not here to hurt you." Silence. Then the curtain moved. A young girl stepped out, maybe 19, maybe younger. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Her hands shaking as if the whole world had turned against her. "My beloved child," she whispered, not to Daniel, but like she was repeating someone else's words. "They told me you would come." Daniel felt a chill crawl up his spine. "Who told you?" She pointed at the diary. "He did." Daniel's voice tightened. "Who is he?" Her answer was almost a whisper. "He said an officer would find his message, and only that officer could save me." "Save you from what?" She swallowed hard. "From the truth." Daniel flipped to the last page. Fresh ink. Still shiny. The message read, "The girl is innocent. But the one looking for her, isn't." Daniel froze. "Who wrote this?" he asked. She looked at him with terrified eyes. "That's what nobody believes, because the person who wrote it disappeared 5 years ago." Fresh ink, from someone missing for 5 years. Something wasn't humanly possible. Something was inside that house. Something Daniel could feel standing right behind him. Don't skip. The real twist is just about to break open. My beloved child, don't skip. Officer Daniel stood frozen as that trembling voice rose from the basement darkness, a voice he'd never heard before yet somehow felt connected to. "Officer Daniel, you finally came," it whispered. He slowly stepped down the stairs, each creak sounding like the house itself was warning him. The deeper he went, the colder the air became, like the darkness held its own breath, waiting for him. When he reached the bottom, a small lantern flickered on the floor beside a wooden box. Daniel opened it and found old police files, his department's files, cases that should have been locked away. The top file shook him. It had Lena's name written in bold red marker, but the date inside said she had disappeared 3 years ago. 3 years. Yet the girl he saw looked exactly 19. She hadn't aged. Nothing made sense. As he flipped through more files, he found other missing people. Same pattern. Same unexplained vanishings. Every file was stamped, "Case closed, insufficient evidence." His breath tightened. "Who closed these cases?" he whispered. From the darkness, the voice answered, "The one wearing your badge." Daniel felt something twist inside his chest. "A cop did this?" The voice replied, "Not just any cop. Someone trusted. Someone protected. Someone they never questioned." Daniel stared into the darkness. "Why tell me?" The voice whispered, "Because you're the only one who didn't look away." Daniel swallowed hard and asked, "Where's Lena?" The air stayed silent. Then he noticed something scratched onto the basement wall, shaky and uneven like carved by desperate fingers. "She will vanish again." Daniel whispered, "No. I just talked to her." Below it, he saw another line, "You're late." Before he reacted, the lantern flickered and went out. The darkness swallowed everything. He couldn't see anyone, but he could hear breathing around him, multiple breaths circling him slowly. A hand brushed his shoulder. Daniel stumbled back and shouted, "Who's there?" A whisper floated around him like a ghost, "The ones who were never found." The lantern flickered back on suddenly. The basement was empty. Completely empty. But all the files had vanished. Daniel raced upstairs. Lena. Lena. He searched every room, every corner. She wasn't there. Then he saw a page lying on the floor, freshly written. It read, "You're repeating his mistake." He picked it up. "Whose mistake?" he whispered. Another page lay near the door, "The officer who found me first." Daniel felt the weight of those words. The diary writer, the one who vanished 5 years ago, had been warning him all along. He stepped outside. The front door was open a little, and on the ground lay Lena's necklace, the same one she wore around her neck. He picked it up and noticed a date carved on the back, the same year the diary writer disappeared. Daniel whispered, "Lena, where did they take you?" A faint voice from the trees whispered his name. It wasn't Lena. It was the same broken voice from the basement. "He's coming," it warned. Daniel stepped toward the woods. "Who's coming?" The voice trembled, "The one you're protecting without knowing." Daniel shook his head. "I'm not protecting anyone." The voice answered, "You are." Because everything leads back to him. Every file. Every disappearance. Every truth. Daniel took a breath. Who is he? The voice replied, your partner. Daniel stepped back as if hit. No, no, that's a lie. The voice whispered, he took her again, just like the others. Daniel whispered, why would he take Lena? Because she wasn't his victim, the voice said. She was his witness. Daniel looked around and noticed fresh footprints in the soil, 2 sets. One small and one large. Lena's, and his partner's. Daniel clenched his jaw. I'm coming, he whispered. He took a step forward but froze when he saw a message carved onto a tree, don't trust the badge behind you. Daniel spun around instantly. His partner stood there in the dark, staring at him with empty eyes. Daniel, he whispered. We need to talk. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, don't skip. The night turned colder the moment Daniel saw his partner standing behind him. The man he trusted for years, the man he worked every case with, was watching him with an expression Daniel couldn't recognize. Not anger. Not fear. Just something empty, like he had already decided what was going to happen. Daniel's pulse hammered in his ears. Where is she? He demanded. His partner didn't blink. Daniel, you're confused. You shouldn't be out here. Not tonight. Daniel stepped back. Tell me where Lena is. His partner smiled, a slow, calm smile that didn't belong to the man Daniel once knew. Lena was never supposed to speak again. You ruined that. Where is she? Daniel shouted. His partner tilted his head slightly. Why do you care so much? You weren't even part of the original case. Daniel felt something crack inside. Because you closed those files. Because you hid them. Because you erased people. His partner sighed. You're getting emotional. I didn't erase them, Daniel. I saved the department. I protected the system. Some people don't deserve to stay in the world. Some people cause trouble just by existing. Daniel felt a chill deeper than fear. These were innocent people. They were threats, his partner whispered. They saw things they shouldn't have seen. Daniel clenched the necklace in his fist. And Lena? What did she see? His partner's eyes sharpened. Too much. Daniel stepped back. Where is she? She's safe, his partner said calmly. For now. Take me to her. His partner took a slow step forward. Daniel, don't make this difficult. Don't take another step, Daniel warned, voice low. His partner shook his head gently. You were always the emotional one. You think too much. You feel too much. That's why you weren't supposed to find the house tonight. You weren't the officer he wanted. Daniel felt his stomach twist. What are you talking about? The diary writer, his partner said. He wasn't warning you. He was warning me. 5 years of messages, and you stumbled into one by accident. Daniel whispered, you killed him. His partner's smile faded. He didn't listen. Don't skip. You're getting close to the darkest truth. Daniel took a slow breath. Where is Lena? His partner raised his hand and pointed deeper into the woods. She's waiting. But you won't like what you find. Daniel didn't wait. He ran. His partner didn't chase him. He only whispered behind him, "She won't save you." Daniel followed the footprints deeper into the trees. The woods felt too silent. Too heavy. The branches leaned close like they were listening. The moonlight barely reached the ground. Then he saw it, Lena standing alone near an old wooden shed. Lena. Daniel rushed toward her. She didn't move. Didn't turn. She just whispered, "Don't come closer." Daniel slowed. "Lena, it's me." "I know," she said in a shaking voice. "But he's already here." Daniel looked around. "Where?" "I don't see him." "He doesn't have to be seen," Lena whispered. "He watches. He waits." Daniel took a cautious step closer. "What did he do to you?" She held her arms close to her chest. "He said if I talked, he'd hurt you." Daniel shook his head. "He's not going to hurt me. Not tonight." Lena finally turned toward him. Her eyes glistened with fear. "He already has." Daniel's breath caught. "What do you mean?" Lena pointed behind him slowly. Daniel turned. His partner stood just a few feet away, holding a small recorder in his hand. "You talk too much, Daniel," he whispered. "And now I have everything I need." Daniel stepped in front of Lena protectively. "You're not touching her." His partner tilted his head. "Do you know why she survived the first time? Why she escaped me?" Daniel didn't answer. His partner said softly, "Because she had help." He helped her. The diary writer. "And when he tried to warn everyone, I made him vanish." Lena trembled. "He wasn't supposed to die." "He didn't die," the partner said with a cold smile. "Not right away." Daniel felt heat rush into his blood. "You're done." "No," his partner whispered. "You are. Don't skip. The biggest shock is right here." Daniel grabbed Lena's hand. "Run." They sprinted into the woods. Branches cracked beneath their feet. Daniel held her tight, guiding her through the darkness. Behind them, his partner walked calmly, almost lazily, like he knew something Daniel didn't. Then Daniel heard it. Voices. Soft, broken whispers, coming from every direction. He stopped. Lena squeezed his hand. "Don't listen. Don't turn." The whispers grew louder. "Daniel, help, help, he took us, he took me, he took all of us." Those weren't living voices. They were the voices of the missing. Daniel whispered, "Lena, what is this?" She shook her head. "They're trapped. Not bodies, just their fear." Daniel felt the ground soften beneath his feet. The air grew heavy. The woods seemed to shift. The voices grew louder. His partner's voice echoed behind them. "Daniel, you're right where I want you." Daniel turned. His partner stood there with a gun pointed at him. "You found the truth," he said softly. "Now bury it." Daniel stepped in front of Lena again. "You won't hurt her." "I already did," his partner replied. "The moment she saw my face 5 years ago, her life ended. Tonight is just the final chapter. Something huge is coming. Don't skip." Daniel raised his hands slowly. "If you want someone, take me." His partner smiled. "Exactly what I expected you to say." A shot fired. Lena screamed. Daniel fell to his knees, clutching his shoulder. His partner stepped closer, gun still raised. "Goodbye, Daniel," he whispered. But something happened. Something none of them expected. A hand grabbed Daniel's partner from behind. A hand that didn't belong to the living. The partner froze. His gun fell. His face turned pale. Daniel looked up. A shadow stood behind his partner, the shape of a man, the outline familiar, the presence unmistakable. Lena gasped. "It's him," she whispered. "The diary writer," the partner's voice cracked. "No, no, you're dead." The shadow leaned closer, and the partner screamed, pure terror, pure guilt, before being dragged into the darkness of the woods. His scream faded. Silence returned. Daniel held his bleeding shoulder. Lena knelt beside him, shaking. The shadow slowly turned toward them, then pointed at the ground. Beneath the leaves lay all the missing files. Every truth. Every victim. Every piece of evidence. The shadow whispered one final message, barely audible: "Finish what I couldn't." Then the shadow faded into the darkness. Daniel held Lena close as dawn slowly touched the trees. "Don't skip. Something huge waits even after truth." The case wasn't over. Because the partner wasn't the only one involved. There was another name in those files. A name Daniel recognized. A name that changed everything. A name connected to him. "My beloved child, don't skip." Daniel and Lena sat in the forest, the first light of dawn breaking through the trees, but the weight of the night still pressed on them. The missing files lay scattered, the truths hidden for years now staring him in the face. Every victim, every secret, every erased life, it all pointed toward something bigger than he had imagined. Daniel's shoulder throbbed, but he ignored the pain. He picked up the first file and opened it carefully. Names, dates, connections, patterns forming that he hadn't noticed before. One name kept repeating, appearing in case after case. A name he knew. Someone inside his own department. Someone who was trusted, untouchable, and now, terrifyingly, clearly guilty. "Lena, look at this," he whispered, showing her the connections. Her eyes widened, and her hand tightened around his. He's been covering for him all this time," she said, voice trembling. Daniel nodded, feeling rage rise inside him. "We can't go back. Not now. Not ever. We have to finish this. Stay till the end. Something huge is coming." They moved quickly, following the trail left in the files. Every step, Every hidden clue led them deeper into a part of the city Daniel never thought would be connected to this nightmare. A warehouse. Abandoned. Rusted doors. The air smelled of damp metal and decay. Lena whispered, "He brought me here once. I barely escaped." Daniel took a deep breath. "We end this tonight. No mistakes." Inside, shadows moved. Not human shadows, shapes that blended with the darkness, hiding and watching. Daniel pulled out his flashlight and shone it across the room. Dust danced in the beam, but the far corner revealed a figure, someone kneeling, bound. A soft groan escaped. Daniel ran. Lena followed. It was another victim. Someone who had disappeared years ago, forgotten in the files. "It's okay, you're safe now," Daniel said, helping them to their feet. The person's eyes were hollow, haunted, but recognition brought a spark of hope. Then they heard it, a low, deliberate clap from the shadows. Daniel froze. His partner wasn't the only one. Someone else had been orchestrating this. And suddenly, the final pieces fell together. The diary writer hadn't just predicted Lena's survival. He had been tracking not one, but two criminals. The partner and someone far higher in the department. Someone untouchable. "Daniel, we have to move," Lena said. "Before he realizes we're here. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting." Footsteps echoed from the second floor. Daniel motioned for the victims to stay low. He grabbed Lena's hand, and they moved silently toward the staircase. The final confrontation was about to begin. Daniel's heart pounded with fear, anger, and determination. At the top of the stairs stood a figure in a pristine uniform, the badge glinting in the dim light. It wasn't his partner. It was the one whose name had appeared across the files. The one no one suspected. The one everyone trusted. "Daniel," the figure said, calm and controlled, "I wondered how long it would take for you to figure it out." "Why?" Daniel demanded. "Why destroy all those lives?" "Because power requires control," the figure said, voice chillingly calm. "And some people were never meant to see the truth." Daniel stepped forward. "You're finished. It ends tonight." The figure smiled. "Do you really think it ends with me?" Suddenly, Lena shouted, "Daniel, behind you." He turned instinctively, and the figure lunged forward. Chaos erupted. Daniel fought with every ounce of strength. Lena helped the victims escape, guiding them toward safety. But the fight wasn't just physical. Daniel realized the final truth: this person had manipulated every case, every disappearance, every diary note, even the messages meant to guide him. The diary writer had been trying to give him a path, but only Daniel's courage could complete it. Finally, after a tense struggle, Daniel subdued the figure. Sirens approached. He held the files tightly, proof of everything. Lena ran to him, her hand shaking in his. The city would never know how close it had come to losing all of them. The files were enough to bring the entire corrupt chain down. Every missing person's story finally had a voice. Every hidden truth finally revealed. Daniel looked at Lena. "It's over." She shook her head. Not entirely. The world still hides its darkness. But we did what we could. Together. Don't skip. The final revelation is this: courage isn't about fighting alone. It's about staying when everything around you is falling apart. And sometimes, it takes surviving the impossible to finally reveal the truth. As dawn broke fully, the woods seemed lighter. The horrors of the night were still there, but the shadows had been exposed. Daniel knew this wouldn't be the last challenge, but for now, he had kept his promise. He had saved Lena. He had uncovered the truth. And he had survived the crime that had shocked the police, a crime that would haunt them all, but one that could no longer hide. Stay till the end. Something huge has already been revealed. And yet, the world outside will never forget this night. My beloved child, don't skip. The city was waking up, but Daniel and Lena felt like they had just emerged from another world. Every step toward the police station felt heavy with truth, with the weight of all the lives erased, all the lies hidden. The files were in Daniel's hands, proof of what had been covered up for years. But the night's horrors were far from over. As they entered the precinct, the familiar fluorescent lights didn't feel comforting. They felt exposed, almost hostile. Daniel handed the files to Internal Affairs, and the room went silent. The faces of his colleagues shifted between disbelief and shock. Lena whispered, "It's done, right?" Daniel shook his head slowly. "It's only beginning. This isn't just about my partner or that higher-up. There's a network, more people involved, people who thought no one would ever find out. Don't skip. The biggest shock is still here." He looked around the station, and the tension in the air was palpable. He realized that justice wasn't just a badge or a gun, it was persistence, bravery, and the courage to look where no one else dared. Lena squeezed his hand. "We survived. That's proof enough." Daniel felt the truth settle in. Every diary note, every file, every whispered warning had been part of a puzzle only he could solve. The diary writer's presence, his warnings, had guided them all the way. He had been more than a voice from the past, he had been a guardian, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, the truth can survive. Then Daniel noticed something in the corner of the office, a small envelope addressed to him. He opened it carefully. Inside was a single photograph of Lena, taken years ago. On the back, a note: "She was never alone. And neither are you." Daniel looked up. His partner, the higher-up, the ones responsible, they would face justice. But some questions remained unanswered. The network was larger than any single arrest could fix. Still, the files, the victims, the truth, they had all been given a voice tonight. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Lena leaned on Daniel's shoulder. "Do you ever think about the others? Those who didn't make it?" Daniel nodded. "Every day. But tonight, we gave them a chance at being remembered. That's enough for now." The precinct was alive with commotion as arrests were made, statements taken, and evidence secured. Daniel and Lena stepped outside into the morning light. The air felt clearer, as if the world itself had exhaled after a long, terrifying night. Don't skip. The final revelation is this: True courage isn't just surviving a nightmare, it's turning the nightmare into justice, into hope, and never forgetting the ones who trusted you to stand for them. Daniel looked at Lena. We'll never forget. But we also won't stop. There's still more to protect, more to uncover. She nodded, determination shining in her eyes. Together. As they walked into the city, the files safely in the hands of those who could make a difference, Daniel knew the night's terror would never leave him completely. But the fear had turned into strength. The crime that shocked the police, the nightmare that haunted the missing, the voices that demanded justice, they had all finally been seen. And now, the world would remember. Something huge has already been revealed, but the courage, the truth, and the stories of the lost, that's what will echo forever. The end.